Jana,
We love us some minimum viable, don't we? Especially when it comes to social media, we love
we-
minimum viable. And I know our audience does too. Anytime we talk about anything minimum viable, people are like, what?
how
Tell
do
me,
you do that?
tell me,
What
tell
do you
me.
mean I don't need to do more?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're chatting about minimum viable social media strategy this week. So last week we
Hmm.
talked about how to make social media optional in your business. This week we're just chatting about how to make it less of your time,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. And I'm like, what I'm going to share, you're going to go first, I think. But if what I'm going to share essentially is like, we talked about social media optional and there's different ways that that can look. Social media
Yeah.
optional is on like a continuum and it could be like you completely delete all the apps. It also could be you do social when it feels fun,
Yeah.
which is kind of like what you and I do. And the minimum viable strategy that I'm going to share, I don't even know if it's a strategy. I mean, it is, but it's kind of a workflow too, is what I see as what I need to do to keep like just like this minimum viable baseline on one platform in particular, Instagram, that,
Yeah.
I just don't want to spend a lot of time on, but I want to like be there. So, and I
Yeah.
want it to be fun when I do show up, when I feel like doing a little more. I want to go over there and not feel like I haven't been here in months and I have to apologize and no one's listening because I have no audience. So I do a minimum viable over there so that I can show up when it's fun and I know that I've got this like baseline minimum viable. And if I want to do a little more than that, I will. But a lot of times I don't want to. So a lot of times I don't. So that's kind of like the idea of minimum viable. So,
Yeah, I don't want to either, and it's because what we talked about last week and setting
mhm.
ourselves up in a way that it's not required. Now, I did have a gal reach out because I sent that to my email list last week,
Mm,
and
I
a
saw
gal
that.
that's been in my membership reached out and she's like, I just don't get clients unless I'm on social media, and I was like, and that's totally fine. Like if that's what you have to do, that's great. So for those folks that
Mm,
want to make it minimum viable, essentially what I do, it's really tight, it's really easy, and I want to get back into it. I haven't been able to do it in a while because I've just had other things going on. And one of the first things to go is social media,
hmm.
always. So
Me too.
what I like to do when I am doing my minimum viable social media strategy is I take this week's YouTube video and I break it down using my custom GPT into
Nice.
social media posts. So I've customized this custom GPT to understand threads and LinkedIn and Facebook, and sometimes I'll make an Instagram carousel. And those are the four platforms I prioritize. And it's basically the same content on all four platforms, just customized for each platform.
Okay.
That's essentially what I do. I like to stretch it out over the course of a week so that video is getting a little bit of airtime on every platform. And I spend the majority of my time obviously crafting the piece of content and then using my email list to drive viewers to the video. So that's what
Hmm.
I do.
Okay.
It's
With those four posts that you do with the GPT, I have a couple questions. First of all, do
Mhm.
you schedule them yourself or do you have someone on your team schedule them? No, you schedule them yourself.
Yeah, I schedule them myself,
Okay.
typically just within the native scheduling options, just right on the
For
platforms.
each platform. I was going to ask that too. Okay. And then the other question I had for you is it sounds to me, based on what you're describing, that all of the posts on all the platforms, or most of them, are what I call an HLC, like a straight teaser format, meaning that they are, well, maybe not straight teaser, but like the call to action generally for most of them is to go watch the YouTube video. Like you're using those posts as promos for your YouTube video.
In a lot of cases, yes, there are some
Mhm.
cases where I'll do a gem pull.
Yep.
So you teach that method as well.
Yeah.
You've taught it widely here on the live show that,
Yeah.
pulling a little piece out and then it's like that is the content and there's no
Right.
hard call to action for those.
Yep.
The goal for those is really just to get likes and shares, to grow the
Hmm.
audience, to get more eyeballs. Um, and it all kind of just works in synchronicity with each other. So those are the two general formats that I play with. I,
Hmm.
I would like to play with more, but I just have never
Hmm.
prioritized it.
Yeah, yeah. And, I do this a lot and I'm going to do it again. I want to point out for anyone who's listening that Heather has been in business now for 9 years. She has a lot of clarity around her messages. These YouTube videos she's creating, she's perfected it so that they do a lot of heavy lifting in her business. And one of the ways that they do that is they create content for other platforms. When I have students come into high leverage content, my program, the waitlist is open now. Um,
Get on it.
you get on my waitlist. Once you've built your first 4 capsule blog posts in your capsule blog library, you have hit milestone 1. And one of the things we do at that point in the program is you choose your 3-prong visibility plan. And for anyone who's not as advanced as Heather, for most people who are not as advanced, I wouldn't recommend being on 4 different platforms because it just stretches a little thin. Because you're still like at the point, not Heather, but like if you're in HLC, you're still kind of figuring out how to like either define or refine your messaging. And yeah, there's a lot of reasons, but basically, like I don't think necessarily you need to be on all 4 platforms, and it works really well for you. But you've got some systems that are like super dialed in because you've been doing this a long time, and you're a content queen.
I don't feel like one, to be honest with you.
No, you are.
I have my moments, but that's very nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course you are. You're a content queen.
Okay, well, tell me what you do, Jana.
Yeah. So, and actually, this is something I'm going to share that is actually pulled right out of the bonus that I'm offering this launch for high leverage
Hmm.
content. So, if anybody actually wants a training on exactly how to do this, along with other trainings that are coming in the more clients, less social media training bundle, that is the bonus for HLC for this round, you'll want to go to either just go to highleveragecontent.com or the link that we'll put in the show notes here and join the waitlist because we're going to be reopening to new students again on September 10th. But you have to be on the waitlist in order to get this bonus, and it's like an incredible bonus. It's amazing, if I do say so myself. So one part of it is a training that I teach on minimum viable social media. And I'm just going to pull a little part out of it and share what I taught that is what I do in my own business. And this is just a small sampling from that set of trainings. But on Instagram, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I want to be able to show up when I want to and have it be fun. Like I will occasionally like show up for like a week in my stories and like I'll even turn the camera on and talk if I'm feeling motivated. I know it sounds crazy, but I do. I know some people do that every day, but I do not.
I don't.
I love using my brand photos that I'm still in love with from last year in like, Instagram stories. And so sometimes I just be like, I want to share some of my photos, but I have some, I got to put some words on it. Otherwise, no one just wants to look at my photos. And I honestly do get conversions that way when I do post on social media because I have my messaging dialed in and I've been writing my blog posts and getting clear in that way on my messaging for so long. So I do occasionally like to show up for like little, stretches and do that. But most weeks you're not going to find me doing that. Like I'll forget about social media for weeks at a time. But one of the ways I make sure that's the case, because I never want to like feel like, oh, this week I want to share some of my brand photos and like get a couple people on the wait list for HLC. So I'm going to make some stories because it feels fun to me, or I want to yap for this week. So I'm going to do, 3 days a week, I'm going to come on and I'm going to yap about something in my stories. That wouldn't feel fun to me or productive if I had literally done nothing on the platform for the last 30 or 60 days.
Yeah.
Because it would feel energetically to me like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't been here, but let me talk, right? And also algorithmically, like the algorithm's not going to like that either. So what I have is this minimum viable system where I'm always posting 3 posts a month on my feed. That's it. And they're always coming from either my blog posts or emails that came from blog posts. So it's all blog driven. And that's what I teach, in HLC is a blog first content ecosystem. So what I do is it's usually 2 carousels and one like I keep calling it a static post because that's what we used to call them on Pinterest, but it's not really a
Hmm.
static post. It's like a just a one image, I guess is what you
It's an
call it.
image post. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I don't even know what it's called. That's how like into Instagram I am. I don't even know what it's called. Um, and sometimes if I feel like it, I'll go into one of my old B-rolls. I don't make B-roll anymore, but I have a ton of it from when, like we were talking about this last week when I went through a period where I was like, I'll make B-roll. That's what everyone
Yeah.
says to do, so I'll make it. And so occasionally when I do my 3 Instagram posts for the month, I'll do a carousel, a reel, and a static image, or 2 carousels and a reel or something. But all it is just 3 posts, and I just grab content directly from a blog and I zhuzh it. And I got your husband's giving us a show back there.
Oh my goodness. Babe.
You trying to
Oh,
increase
the
our
singing one?
viewership?
He's trying to increase our viewership.
Woo, we do have a lot of ladies following us here.
At least it wasn't in his underwear.
Um, that's what happens when you live in Arizona and Florida. Like you're walking around this time of the year, and like, not wearing tons of clothes. It happens here too. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to harass your husband. So back to our point at hand, which is that I will grab information from the blog posts themselves, and I'll actually use another part of the same blog post as part of the caption. And usually the way I decide what I'm grabbing is I'll start by thinking, okay, what do I want the CTAs to be this month? So for example, right now we spent most of August driving to my launch waitlist. And so I was like, okay, well, I need three. I'm probably going to do two of my posts of those three that drive to the waitlist, and then maybe one that just is a blog promotion. It just like says, if you want more, read the blog, or maybe the other way around, like two to the blog and one to the waitlist or something like that. And then once I know what the CTA is, I'll think, okay, I'm going to look through this blog post that I'm using this month, and maybe I'll use two different blog posts if I feel like it, to look for information that naturally leads into that call to action. And of course, because I wrote my blog post the HLC way, almost all my blogs are all going to lead to the natural call to action that I want to use because there's so much alignment. And that's one of the great things about writing my way too, is like you're never like, oh crap, I want to share this, but I don't know how it connects to the CTA. We're always like connecting to the CTA very naturally. That's just how the program ends up working for you. So you never struggle with that if you're creating content my way. So that's what I do. I just do three in the feed, and I sometimes I'll schedule them natively, or if I'm having my team do the scheduling, which I'm doing a lot these days, I'll have Rochelle, my OBM, schedule them in later. And the only reason we do that is just because she doesn't have like access to my Instagram. So it's just easy for her to use later to do it. Although one
Yeah.
thing I like about later is it saves your captions automatically, so we can reuse captions. So that is kind of nice sometimes. But yeah, and that's it. And like I said, it's minimum viable. And I will tell you, let me be clear. I don't expect with this minimum viable strategy to be an Instagram girly who gets lots of sales on Instagram. I don't need that because I sell with my blog and my emails because I am social media optional and I choose to not depend on social media for sales.
Yeah.
Um, but I still grow on Instagram every month when we track my metrics. I don't look at reach. I literally never look at reach, but I do track number of followers, and I'm still growing. Every month I have more followers. I've never had a month where I like, went down in followers. Not that if I did, I would care, to be honest. Like that would be normal if I did, and I know a lot of people do, and I'm sure it's quite normal. But my goal in saying this is just to say, even though it's a minimum viable strategy, and I'm not posting every single day, because I don't have to and I don't want to. I make sales without doing that
See you in
because
Farris.
my content is so. I'll just keep talking, Heather, just to keep the viewers entertained, and you can do your thing. But just because my content is so specific, and I've designed it all based on exactly what my audience needs to hear and learn and understand more deeply to feel ready to buy. Three posts for me per month are more effective than if I posted every single day
Yeah.
or 10 posts a month, but it was like random. You know what I mean? So one of the ways that more clients, less social media shows up for me is I can post three times a month and then just show up when it's fun and do stories if I want to or whatnot. And I grow and I do make sales that way. Again, it's not a ton of sales, and I couldn't live on them because I live on the sales I make from my blog and my emails. But it's not like this minimum viable strategy that I teach like sucks. It's not like why even bother doing it because it does do something for my business. So that's where my minimum viable strategy comes in.
Yeah.
So that's the
I
deal.
think I think that's good. And I think I mean, you talked about something that I don't even necessarily do or focus on, which is growth on the social media platforms. I really don't look at them.
I don't really focus
Um,
on it. I just have noticed that it's not failing.
yeah, and that's good. So
Mhm.
if people are interested in growing on social media, that's probably something they should probably look at and care about. For me, it's YouTube and my email list and my website. So that's
Mhm.
really where I focus a big piece
Mhm.
of my time.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's great. And I think it's really useful for people to understand like how your team helps you as well. I'm definitely not doing like my team's not helping me with really anything. I think Sarah will occasionally post a
Right now.
Pinterest pin.
You've gone through phases in your business
Yeah,
where that was different, though. I have too. I've gone through times when I've done it myself and times when I've leaned on my team more.
yeah, for sure. Um, it's um helpful that you can provide your team with the tool. So if they can help you, they are enabled to do so.
Totally. Totally.
And
And having a capsule blog library of 12 to 20 high converting blog posts that a
yeah,
team member can just go into and say, oh, let's repurpose this month.
yeah,
Or I can say to them, see this section right here of this blog. This is what I want you to repurpose. Go ahead and draft it, and then I'll take a quick look at it before you post it.
yeah,
Oh my God. I mean, that is how you delegate content without having to literally have a copywriter that you're paying, you know. It's all your own ideas. You're just having them reformat it for you. I have emails going out this week to my list actually about like how a capsule blog library makes it not even like easier, but like literally possible to delegate content and still sound like yourself on social
yeah,
media and not get embarrassed by what somebody posts for you.
yeah. That's great.
Mhm. Yeah, I love my little minimum viable Instagram strategy. I hope that everyone who learns it when they buy HLC and get that bonus love it as much as I do. I think they will.
I think they will. Yeah. I mean, if they buy because of the bonus, they're
Mhm.
definitely interested and I think they're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
all right. Well, I know we're going to run because we just wanted to like come in and just share these nuggets. And next week
yep.
we are talking about Pinterest. I think we're talking about why Pinterest accounts fail next week or why
Mm,
they, that's not the word we used, why they stall.
yeah.
Um, what does that mean to you, stalling, just out of curiosity? Like just plateauing and not growing or
Plateauing,
yeah.
yeah, slowing
Mhm.
down, maybe it's no growth, maybe it's going,
Down.
down.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Next
yeah.
week. Yeah, next week we'll talk about that. So we're shifting gears a little next week.
All right. We'll see you
Okay.
guys here, same time, same place next week.
Okay.
All right.